Hey, Keith McCrone here, and thanks very much for joining me on this video. Now, I have a lot to cover, so I'm going to be going relatively fast. The first thing is I want to talk about a few of the emails that have came in. First of all, I want to say thank you very much for all the emails, but some of the emails that I received that were asking about the schedule that we went over. So if there is an event that you would like to attend that is not on the schedule, is that something that we can go ahead and campaign a car for you? And the answer is yes. I say do me a favor, hit me up below. There's the phone number there and the email. Get a hold of us. I'll take a look at what event that you would like to attend, make sure there is no conflict with our schedule, and we will go ahead and accommodate you with a race car. And again, yes, all the tires are taken care of when we provide the car. Same thing with the fuel. The only thing you have to do is get yourself there. We'll make sure we put you in the car and we get you out there and get you acclimated and get you comfortable and get you going right away. The second thing that I had a couple of emails that came in, and not just this past week, but over the last, say, 3 weeks or so, they were asking about what is the single biggest thing that you think that makes either a race team or even somebody that's going to a track day event successful, or makes it a successful year or any successful event? And that's a great question. In fact, I just got off a conversation over the last couple of weeks with an engineer for IndyCar team, and I'd love to be able to mention his name, but I didn't ask him if it was okay if I referenced to him and or the team that he was on. I could tell you that they did win the 1986 Indy 500. He currently is in an IndyCar team at the moment. And one of the things that we were talking about was just racing overall, right? Doesn't matter if it was track days, doesn't matter if it was lower level racing, doesn't matter if it was pro racing or what level of pro racing or what series. And he said, the key to success is being prepared. And I said to him, well, define that. What does that mean, being prepared? And he kind of broke it down for me, and it really made sense. So I'm going to share that with you. But before I dive into that, I want to kind of share with you. Most of you know my background. You know, I've got multiple businesses today. I've had multiple businesses in the past that I've sold off. And one of them I had was a consulting business. And with this consulting business, we used to help small independent business owners, right, to run a successful business. And we used to always look at their business and saying, if we can make it simple for them, we're going to get the results that we're looking for, and they're going to get the results they're looking for. So let me share you one of the things that we did with them to be prepared for their business, but yet to make it simple so they can understand it. So we broke their business down into 4 key areas, and I'm going to draw those out real quick. So the first one is going to be marketing, right? So we got to have customers. And I know that this doesn't pertain to racing, so just bear with me in a moment, but marketing on here. And marketing's number one job is to get the phone to ring. So I'm going to draw an iPhone here. It's to get the phone to ring. Once we have the phone ringing and we get the customer into the place of business, the next thing we're going to do is we need to get sales. And then from there, we need to have productivity. In this case, I'm going to draw a wrench because one of the businesses that I had was an auto repair shop. So I'm going to call this productivity. All right, so we need to have a customer. We got to get them into the business. We need to get sales once they're there, and we need to produce whatever it is that we're offering this individual. It doesn't matter what business you're in. If you think about it, this holds true for almost any business. Now, how do we take this and parlay it over to a race team, or maybe even your program that you're running, right? So you're somebody that's maybe doing just track days at this time, which is fine. You take it and you just make it a little bit smaller. It doesn't have to be as elaborate. But I'm going to cover the 4 key areas that this engineer talked to me about that they focus on all the time. And they may have individuals that's in charge of each one of these categories. We don't have the luxury of doing that, but they do, and that's why they're able to maximize the team, because they can focus in each one of these key areas. So the first one I'm going to draw that he talked about is going to be the schedule, right? So I'm going to draw a calendar here. So schedule was number 1. Now, I recommend making sure that you look at your schedule in the beginning of the year. Let's go and take a look at what track events you want to hit, map it out, put a schedule together for yourself. That way you know you're going to hit them. If it's something that you don't put on a schedule, 50% of the chance you're not even going to make it to that event. The second thing is, if you know it's coming, you can kind of schedule around a little bit or move your schedule around other things you have going on. And you're still able to hit half a dozen events a year or whatever your goal is as far as getting on the track. The second thing is you got to make sure, and I'm going to draw now a race car on here. Okay? we got to make sure that the race car is prepped. Right? We got to make sure that the race car is ready to go. The third thing is going to be, we got to make sure, and I'm going to try to draw this on here, I don't have a lot of room. I got to make sure that I have the transporter ready to go, right? So I got to make sure I've got the transporter. And then from there, the last element is going to be, we got to make sure that we have the driver. This is obvious helmet here. The driver ready to go. So they're looking at these 4 key areas constantly. Now, mind you, they probably have a bunch of things underneath each one of these items that they're making sure that they cover and they had taken care of, so they're prepped and ready to go. But they're looking at the schedule. They're looking at making sure that the race car prep ready to go. They got enough cars. If it's 1, if it's 2, they got to have backup cars, all the spare parts. Then they're looking at the toter, making sure that if it's a toter home or it's a semi, whatever the transporter is going to be, it's all ready to go. It's reliable. We also want to make sure that all the equipment that is on the truck and trailer is all working and all in order. And then the last thing is we want to make sure that the driver is ready to go. That can mean anything as far as the driver is concerned. You might want to do track maps, make sure he's familiar with the tracks we're going to. What kind of a testing regimen do we have to put together to make sure that he can maximize his season? But just like you can see in business, there's 4 key areas. There's 4 key areas when you're looking at any kind of a race team. Now, I'm going to share with you a couple things that we do. So at the Ultimate Track Day Experience, I mentioned to you before, this schedule and track maps. We have the schedule. This is our schedule. So we have this component taken care of, right? At the same time, I want to talk about the race car. So the race car prep, well, this here is an inspection sheet. We do a thorough inspection before any race, or I should say track day event. We make sure we go through and we do a complete inspection on the vehicle. And that way, if there's anything that's going to creep up on us, we're going to catch it before we put it on the track, and we don't waste any time as far as track time is concerned. And then as far as the transporter is concerned, we've already talked about the transporter. The transporter we've had now for maybe about 2 months, 3 months as far as the semi, right? But the trailer just arrived. We made sure we prepped that thing and got it ready for the first event that we're going to, and it's sitting down in Sebring right now. And then as far as the driver is concerned, we mentioned we want to make sure that we have track maps, right? The individual knows the track very well. He knows what gear to be in, braking points. Well, I mentioned to you in the past that when you sign up for the Ultimate Track Day Experience, we actually give you track maps. So this is something that we're going to provide you to make sure that you're ready to go as well. Now, I hope that you found this helpful. I can guarantee you that if you're somebody that maybe gets to an event, you always feel like you're thrashing, or somebody that's kind of stressed out, or you're not getting the results you're looking for, it's because you're not focusing on these four key areas before you attend an event. Again, if there's anything you need, please go ahead and hit us up below. Our email is down below, along with the phone number. If there is a track event that you'd like to attend, reach out to us. If you have any questions about this, reach out to us. Or if you have any questions in general, reach out to us as well. Thank you very much for joining me.